Hello, everyone. Hi, hello, welcome. Welcome to the show. This is episode 7 of Some Random. And somehow, someway, I accidentally left a picture of my dog up on the screen. Great. So, hey, hi, everyone. Welcome. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I have Peachan with me. She's a wonderful, wonderful member of the FGC, former graduate from the XO Academy. Peachan, say hello. Oh my gosh, hold on. I just realized. Hi.
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 Hello.
Hello. I just realized I did his whole introduction and I didn't unmute my microphone.
Well, hello everyone.
God. All right. Yeah. We're on now. Yes. Hi everyone. Hi. Hello.
Hi,
I messed
everyone.
up.
It's official.
Yeah. We're official now, and I messed up. Oh, it's so bad. Hi everyone.
Oh, hello. It wasn't that bad of a mess up. Come on, you're fine.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine, really. I did leave a picture of my dog up though, so I have to get that off the screen, unfortunately.
Oh, but he's so cute.
I know he is wonderful, but he doesn't need to have screen time right now. He gets way too much screen time as it is in my house. So yes, hi, hello. This is PJ, wonderful member of the FGC, and former XO Academy graduate, Ed Main, and now she has moved on to what it seems like Nikali, as heartbreaking as that is.
Moved on. I'm not sure about that yet. We're still in that trial period, trial honeymoon phase.
Oh, okay, that's fair. So Peachan, like as we get started, I guess, tell us who you are. Who the hell is Peachan?
Who the hell is Peachan? So my real name is Piran. I'm not going to disclose my last name because it's a keyboard mash. I am technically considered an 09er when it comes to the FGC, but I'm also a competitive dance game player. Currently, I am getting my master's degree in biomechanics, and I got my bachelor's in neuroscience. So that's kind of a little bit about my academic background. I play all types of games. I love fighting games, obviously, the most of all. We all love them, right? But I also started recently competing in I recently started playing Hearthstone as well. So that's kind of like a gist of like, okay, cool, I like neuroscience, cool, I like biomechanics, cool, I really like video games. But also on the side, as a side note, I'm a powerlifter. I've been powerlifting for 6 years. I'm a previous strong woman competitor. There's a video out there from the Omaha, Nebraska News of me towing a 5,000-pound truck.
Oh my god, Peachan, I had no idea. I knew you were like super into fitness and everything else from the posts like online and Twitter and stuff like that, but I had no idea that you were just so much stronger and buffer than I was.
Oh
Holy
yeah,
shit.
and it's kind of interesting because like I never really lifted for like the aesthetic part. I just wanted to lift a lot of weights so I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted. So you know.
I mean, if that's not the ultimate goal, honestly, what's it all for?
Wait, repeat that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said if that's not the ultimate goal, then what's it all for, really?
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Holy cow! Yeah, I really had no idea.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, for sure. So what? So you said you started lifting and stuff like that to eat whatever the hell you want, which honestly that really speaks to my heart. But what started the I guess the workout regimen, like the heavy lifting and stuff like that, because that's something that everyone's like, yeah, I like to go to the gym and like get in shape or stuff like that.
Right.
But like, what inspired the heavy lifting?
Well, so here's the thing: when I was a dance game player, and I still am a dance game player, the weird thing is we're all kind of like skinny fat, which is like I used to be maybe 110 pounds and like really sort of skinny playing DDR. And my roommate at the time, she was like, hey, so I lift heavy weights. So like, you want to come with me sometime? And then ever since then, it was like, I went once and I was in love. I just loved it. There was something about solitary sports, like where you go to the gym by yourself and everything you do there is your own motivation. So I got ambitious to do it because it was like my own thing. I set my own goals and everything had to do with like how well I did. Not anybody else.
Got you. No, that's totally fair. And honestly, like a super admirable way of going about it.
Yeah. And then I realized I was good at it. So, I hit what was I going to say? I started at 110 pounds when I started powerlifting. And then by the end of the first like 8 months, I was 127 pounds and I dropped like almost 10% in body fat. So overall, my body like received it very well, but it really changed my whole lifestyle. And ever since then, it's just like been a staple in everything that I do.
Man, that takes a lot of dedication, honestly, because I went to the gym for, after high school and stuff like that, you kind of fall out of it, or at least I did.
Right.
So like later on in life, as I was getting older, around like 25 or so, I was like, man, I should really start hitting up the gym and stuff like that. And after a couple years, I was like, yeah, the gym is cool, but like, man, these burritos really look good. And then I just kind of fell off the rails. So congratulations to you for not only like sticking with something super tough and like being super super fit, but continuing to stay with it, because a lot of people fall off like very hard.
Yeah, and it's easy to fall off because it's like a lifestyle change, you know, like we all have kids, jobs, work, school, all that stuff, and people always say they don't have time, but it's mostly just about what you want to make time for. It's not embarrassing if you don't want to make time for it. That's just the honest truth. But for me, it's like I definitely make time.
Yeah. That's 100% true. It's if you have time to sit in the lab and like play fighting games for 2 hours, like you can definitely like
Right.
I'll allocate like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to working out of that time.
Exactly.
Or like you were in the first season of the XO Academy, right?
Right. Yep, I was wave one.
You're doing push-ups every time you dropped combos was fucking
That was
excellent.
like the funniest thing ever because I was in there and Persia was like, girl, you gotta drop down and do 10 push-ups every time I see you psycho upper instead of do psycho flicker. And I was like, no!
I mean, to be fair, that's like a fitting punishment for me. Like if I had to do 10 push-ups, like every time, like I don't know, I dropped EX flip to forward heavy punch to EX punches, I would definitely get that shit in my blood eventually. Like
Yeah.
as much as like that endorphin rush like feels good to like get the blood flowing and stuff like that, eventually like I don't want to fucking get up right now. Like I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. This is seeing as we're about 10 minutes in around that time, I should mention to everyone that's in the chat, everyone that's watching, we are what I don't know. I always say interactive talk show because I don't know a better word for it. But if anyone has any questions in the chat, please feel free to throw them to us at me, so that way they show up in red on my chat, so that way I can see them. We'll read your questions out loud, and we'll go through it. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to throw them at us throughout the show. Don't be afraid to talk to us and let us know. Even if P-Chan's not in the chat, if I find something interesting or something that can like contribute to the conversation, I will throw it up so we can all kind of discuss it and talk about it. So the other thing I wanted to ask is, you said you were going, what was it, for your master's in neuroscience?
So I got my bachelor's in neuroscience, but I'm actually going for my master's in biomechanics and sports medicine.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, master's
No,
in
it's
biomechanics. All right. Yeah, that's that on top of like the like incredible workout regimen and being committed to being like a big member of the FGC, fucking highly commendable, my dude. That is.
Oh, well, thank you. I was going to say, the biomechanics department is interesting because they are super gung-ho about, like, just the students that they have. And the previous chairperson, he said he was a previous powerlifting competitor himself. So that kind of makes it very, like, gives you this kind of, like, comfortable feeling of, like, okay, I'm around the types of people that like my hobby.
Right. Yeah, that definitely helps. You know, to be around people in the first place, like at my work, like no one gives a shit about fighting games, but they're all super cool when I take off to a tournament and they're like, hey man, good luck, like blah blah blah, like we'll be watching, like that makes you feel good, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely having that like support group of people, even if they like kind of care, like about lifting and shit like that definitely helps out a lot.
Yeah, I mean with work, I just work at Whole Foods right now. I've been with the company for a while. That's kind of like my side gig aside from school. And they were super chill about XO Academy.
Oh, really?
They were like, we will make your schedule work. We will do whatever you need us to do. Like, have at it.
That's awesome. So do you mind if we talk about XO Academy for a little bit?
No problem. Yeah.
You're part of the inaugural season. Persia made a big thing about it. I know she went on the Our Street Fighter podcast and talked about it and promoted the hell out of you guys, which was super, super awesome. How did you get involved with the XO Academy program in the first place? Was it just Persia came up to you and was like, hey, I have an idea. Let's run with it?
So she was taking applications, but I think at the time she was really mostly like, hey, this is an idea. I know that you're kind of interested. Like, I want to run with it. And let me tell you guys, at first I was like, man, I might be too busy for this, because obviously with school and work and everything else, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have time. And I almost said no.
Oh my gosh.
It was one of those opportunities that I was like, after I thought about it, I literally slept on it. I told her, I was like, after she kind of talked to me, I was like, you know what, I'm going to sleep on it, and then I'm going to come back and make a real decision about it. And 100%, I decided I needed to do that. So she could, after I showed my interest, she was just like, if you could do this and you could like be a part of this, that would be amazing. And so, after kind of talking about it, I was like, yep, I gotta do this. So that's kind of how I came upon the opportunity. And I went from maybe I shouldn't take it because I'm too busy to, yeah, I fucking love fighting games. So yeah, I should do this.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, they matched you up with Dominion, who seemed like an awesome trainer. He seems super, super chill. I happened to watch a couple of the videos back in the day. Oh my god. Yango in the chat, hold on. Before we continue on with this, Yango, hold on to your ass with your pizza toppings. Always, that's the first question he asks. He's so excited to ask people about their pizza toppings. So you got matched up with Dominion, he seemed super cool. Super, super chill. Then obviously he did well with like Ed teachings and stuff like that because you've continued on very well. You've reached platinum with Ed, which not a lot of people can say they've done, especially with like, us low tier heroes. So what was like, how was the training sessions for EXO Academy? Like, I know you guys did the live streaming. They did media training and stuff like that. Can you kind of walk us through like what that did for you?
So it was kind of like a nice breath of different types of things. The first week we got a little bit of physical therapy training from Kate, 1HP doc. And she kind of gave us, like, me and Romanova, she kind of gave us very specialized, like, specific programs just for us. So things we can do to warm up before matches, things we could do, like, during our match, after a match, like, a game was done, and then things to kind of cool off. So that was kind of a cool aspect of that. We also got other types of training, like social media training, and then training of our choice. So you can choose, like, commentary or cosplay or content creation, which is awesome because I got to talk to Gerald from Core A Gaming, which was super sweet. That's kind of like an experience I think I would never have if it wasn't for EXO Academy. But the training with Dominion was pretty intense because we were only required to train a minimum of 1 hour together every time we trained, but we would go sometimes for 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So I think every girl probably had a different experience, but Dominion was very invested in me and the character. We've known each other for about 10 years, so I think I got a very personal experience with EXO Academy and training with Dominion. So that's kind of like, training was like, it felt more in-depth and it felt more meaningful, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. That's awesome. And that's super, like, knowing someone and, like, having that, like, comfortability with someone is a lot easier to take lessons from,
right.
Aside from, like, they've heard a lot of great teachers. I know Neon coached Amber, Space Cake for season 2 and stuff like that, but, like, knowing someone on a personal level and getting matched up, it's a lot easier to take their teachings and apply it towards what you're doing.
So I think overall with EXO Academy, like, I kind of walked you guys through a bunch of stuff in a snapshot, but the schedule was over the course of a month, like, leading up to final rounds, and it gives you a real snapshot of what top players are doing. I mean, just imagine having to train like 10 hours a week minimum and then working your normal job and then doing other like types of training, like having to deal with your social media, having to deal with content creation, streaming, and like all that stuff. Man, it's more than a full-time job.
Oh yeah, I 100% believe it. That seems like a packed schedule.
Yeah.
I come home from work and then like do this and then like with the kids and stuff like that. Like that's hard enough. I couldn't imagine compounding everything else that you had going on top of it. That seems wild.
Yeah, so once EXO Academy was done, like I had a better idea of like how I wanted to manage my schedule with training and like doing stuff on my own, but EXO Academy kind of gave me a nice kind of like a nice backbone of a schedule to see like how I could kind of incorporate Street Fighter V in my daily life.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, well, I mean that kind of balance does help though overall. Like, there's not much you can like. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna try not to stumble over my words here. Jesus, some interviewer I am. Having that kind of regimented like schedule and stuff like that, and especially like mandatory 1 hour sessions, even though they go longer, like that stuff really does help like carry on this stuff. Like even if you do small things on a macro level, like it doesn't have to be for fighting games and stuff like that, but getting onto a schedule where you can do things routinely will help you in the future plot things out, and it's kind of interesting how that stuff like shapes out. All right, so Yango's he's burning. It's burning a hole in his pocket. Burning. So we gotta ask, what are P-Chan's favorite pizza toppings?
All right, do we want like the vanilla pizza toppings, or do we want P-Chan's like crazy pizza toppings?
All right, so we can do both. What is the one that you order the most?
The one I order the most. Are you ready?
Yes.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, all right, hold on.
Extra cheese and pepperoni, light on the sauce.
Extra cheese, pepperoni, light on the sauce. Okay.
That's the basic vanilla version.
All right, hit me with the wild one.
But, you ready for this wild one?
Yeah, hit me with the wild one, because we have a wild one around here.
Regular sauce, regular cheese, but we slap with some fancy Italian salami and jalapeno peppers and a drizzle of honey and garlic.
A drizzle of honey and... Alright, so the garlic I understand, because, like, we have a pizza place here in town that makes, like, a garlic pizza. Excellent. I've never in my life heard of honey on pizza. This is a first for me.
So it's kind of weird because my first exposure to it was at work. Somebody made this, like, fancy charcuterie, like, meat pizza, and they drizzled honey and put jalapenos and shit on it, and I was like, this gotta be whack. This has to be probably the worst pizza I'm ever gonna eat, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I ate that thing, and it was so good. little bit of sweet, little bit of heat, some super savory, salty meats. It was delicious.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna go out this weekend and I'm gonna get the stuff to make that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, those are probably my two. Like, that one's probably a more recent pizza preference, but otherwise, I'm a pepperoni and cheese girl.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man, yeah. That's the wild one we have around here is banana peppers, green peppers, jalapenos, pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom.
That sounds hella good.
It is so good. Or like if we like the basic one, like for me, like because we have I have 2 kids, so like they don't want to eat that. So like if I'm gonna order like a pizza for myself, like a small one, I get pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno. Like that's
pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno.
Yeah.
See, I like that combination, and I am so sick of that meme of "Do you like pineapple on your pizza?" I'm like, bro, let me tell you, hot fruit on things and in things is delicious.
Yes, so many people are missing out. Like at this point, I think people are just so committed to the meme. Like they voted on a Twitter quiz one day that they're like, I can't go back to having pineapple on pizza.
My god!
I gotta tell y'all, pineapple on pizza is excellent. Y'all are missing the fuck out.
Yeah, right? Like so let me give you some cooking ASMR type of things.
Oh, hit me with it.
My dad is a chef, or was a chef, I should say, and so my family's Thai. He makes a crispy fried half duck with a spicy sweet chili paste and hot peppers and onions. But there's another stir-fried version that he does where he stir-fries, Thai chilies and chili paste and jalapenos and onions, and then he puts some straight up pineapple in there. And that is so good. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh. That sounds awesome. Yeah, well, look, the next time that we're at an event, you're going to have to bring your dad, and I'll pay him to cook for me.
He loves cooking for the people, so...
well, if you can bring your dad to Combo Breaker 2020, I'm all about it. Oh my gosh. That man, he's already won a spot in my heart, and you can let him know. Oh my god.
I definitely will. And he's always trying to feed people, like, he's the kind of person, you walk into the house and he's like, let me cook you like 20,000 different things to eat. Thanks, Dad.
Oh my gosh. I love this man. Well, look, if you tell your dad that if he'll make me that, I'll make him some Mexican chili because I also cook my ass off and he'll love it. We
like spicy in this family.
Excellent. We got some ham hocks in there. We got some chorizo in there. Oh my god, we got a little bit of kidney beans, a little bit of onions, some garlic. Oh my god. Look, we'll swap recipes. It'll be a good time. Okay, so God, we're this far and we're 20 minutes in already. And for the most part, we don't really focus on fighting games. We focus on the person. But I have to know, like, what got you into fighting games in the first place? Like, what started you down this path?
Damn. So it's kind of weird because I don't have a conscious memory of like my first fighting game. Everybody's always like, "Hey, what's your first fighting game? Like, what's the first fighting game you ever played?" I'm like, I don't remember a lot about that because I was a dance game player back in the day, so it's kind of all fuzzy.
Right.
But I do my first real conscious I'm interested in fighting games game was Soul Blade on Dreamcast.
Oh wow, okay, the original Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah, Soul Blade, and then Guilty Gear X2 Slash. That was definitely like a huge part of like, oh, fighting games are cool, like yada yada yada. But I knew someone in the dance game scene, so his name is Chris Gallion Hatala. He is the founder of Seasons Beatings, the iconic tournament, and he was like, yo, so hey, we play DDR together, but I run this fighting game tournament. You should just come hang out. And then ever since then, I was just like in love with the whole scene. I just showed up. I never really played games. But then in 2009, that's when I started working for Big Eric. And so Big E Gaming, I pretty much started running all of his, like helping him run all of his majors. And so I was behind the TO desk during Street Fighter 4. And Marvel 3, like vanilla Marvel 3.
Yeah, during the heyday.
And that was just like, that was when I was sucked in. That was when I was like, I'm in deep. I'm never leaving the FGC. Like, I'm stuck here now.
Yeah, for sure.
And during that time, it's kind of interesting because I love playing fighting games now, but back then I was mostly just a tournament organizer. I was, running majors, like viewing matches up close and personal, like dealing with all the kind of administrative stuff. But spectating games was always fun back then. But I never played like very seriously. I had a lot of knowledge of the game, like Street Fighter 4, but other than that, I didn't play a ton. Like, I recently debuted as a competitor in fighting games technically in the first year of Street Fighter 5. So I'm a newbie. I'm technically a scrub.
No. Look, there's no scrubs here. All right, we all, no matter your skill level, no matter when you started, we all suck, and we all suck together, and that's fine.
So what I'm trying to say is my history with FGC or my history with fighting games is kind of long and vast. I started as a tournament organizer, and then I love games. I picked up Street Fighter 5 and decided, you know what, I don't want to run tournaments anymore. I want to play in tournaments, and that's kind of the flip of the switch. And then ever since then, I'm like, oh my god, I love being in the lab with Street Fighter. I like playing ranked. I like playing casual matches. I like playing with every type of player. I have some interest in like other fighting games as well, but I usually put all my time and energy into one game. I am not good at multitasking, guys. I don't know about you. I know everybody wants to dabble in like 20 games, but I'm over here like, listen, I'm on one track, and that's Street Fighter 5.
I dabble in other games. Like every new fighting game that comes out, I've either picked it up or I own it. Like Soul Calibur 6, Tekken 7, Samurai Showdown. Like they're all on my console right now.
Right.
I'll play them for like an hour, maybe a week, and I'll enter them at tournaments. I put no time into those fucking games. I literally just like to play those games. So like if I show up and I go 0-2 or 1-2, like I don't care. Like I just like showing up and playing. Like at Combo Breaker, I played Soul Calibur and I went 1-2 in that game. Woo! And the first guy that I lost to, he was like, "Have you ever played this game before?" And I was like,
"Oh my god!"
Like he was like kind of beat around the bush saying it. I was like, "Yeah, like I just kind of like I fuck with Soul Calibur a little bit, but like this isn't like my number one game by no means."
Yeah.
And like by no means am I some expert player, but like it's just fun to like enter games. Like I entered 5 games at Combo Breaker. I entered 7 at Michigan Masters. Like it's just fun to go out and
that's supporting
games.
the FGC. Like that's another thing too. You get your person who strolls up. You stroll into a tournament. This is kind of like a little bit unrelated, but you stroll into a tournament and you're like, I entered 7 games. Like, it's going to be awesome. Like, I support the FGC. And then somebody's like, well, why would you enter 7 games when you're just going to be pot monsters in all of them? It's like, no, man, that's not the point. You don't get it.
Right. Like I'm really just here to play games.
Yeah.
Like, none of my friends give a shit about Soul Calibur 6, so I have to find someone to play with. This is my only chance. So.
Right. Yeah, so for me, it's like I would like to dabble. I mean, when Unil, before the time of Eunice, and Unil had just dropped in North America, like I was playing that I was grinding that game a lot. Me and one of my closest friends, we would stay up until like 4 a.m. just playing Unil all the time.
Oh,
and so with Uniclear coming out, like the newest Under Knights, I'm kind of interested in potentially picking that back up. I briefly dabbled in Marvel Infinite because Geobron, so I date Geobron, he's obviously Marvel fanatic, and I dabbled in it because I had somebody who could teach me a lot of things, but even then it's like I couldn't juggle that and Street Fighter and all that. Yango's getting all excited. Sorry, I have the stream chat pulled up.
No, you're totally fine. Yeah, no, Yango's...
And I see him getting excited about Eunice. So in Unil, I played Byakuya. He was considered very low tier then because not like being a character in an anime game without a reversal, like an actual reversal, was terrible. And now all of a sudden Byakuya in Eunice is like a god.
Right. He's top 3 in that game easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
I decide not to play the game, and I come back, and everybody's like, "Yo, your character got good." I was like, "What the fuck? What the hell do you mean?"
That's about how I feel with Samurai Shodown right now. Now that Darlie got buffs, got buffs, so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pick up Samurai Shodown again.
So here's something interesting, actually. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're fine.
So Sam Show, I haven't picked up the game at all. Like I see all the interest in it, and it's like I'm not particularly interested in playing it, but I went to Round 1, which is our local arcade, which is a Japanese franchise arcade. They just got a Nesca cabinet, and this Nesca cabinet has Sam Show on it. So, like, if I don't want to buy it at home, I can try Sam Show at the arcade on an actual Vuelix cab, which is super sweet. I mean, that's, like, not something you can get access to everywhere.
Right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I looked over at the chat and Kaggy's trying to piss me off. Listen, I've played Abigail since day one. I don't want to hear your shit, Kaggy. Abigail's the best character, and I love him very much.
Somebody thought that I would like using Abigail, and I said, hell no.
I like him. If he was, like, more serious, if he was just like, I'm this big bruiser, and I hate everyone, and I hate everything, I don't think I would play him. But because his story is so silly, and he's just, like, this goofy dude... he's like, hello, vroom vroom. Yeah, like the vroom vroom, like he's a former Mad Gear thug. He's like getting his life together. He's like starting he's starting his own small business. He's trying to be on the straight and narrow. I'm like, I love this guy. He's got like stupid one-liners like against oh god, what's her name? Colleen. Against Colleen. He was like, my engines are antifreeze. Like, he's just the best. He's the best. Yango, if you ever ask anyone if they're going to play Akuma again, I'll ban you from this stream and you'll never see the stream ever again.
Ooh, can I tell you guys a really funny story that has Akuma in it?
Absolutely.
So this was at Summer Jam last year, and I was playing casual matches with a guy, right? And I sat down and I pick Ed, and this guy straight up, he looks at me dead ass, and he just goes, you play Ed? And I'm like, okay, man, you're already... starting off on the wrong foot with me here. Don't go talking shit about my character. He picks Akuma, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I perfect him the first round we played. Like, straight up. And I ended up beating him the first game. And he goes, yo, Akuma needs to get buffed. And I'm like, what?
Are you out of your fucking mind?
This is the most sacrilegious, blasphemous thing I have ever heard. This man just said to me, an Ed player, Akuma needs to get buffed.
Oh,
you just perfected me, so that means Akuma needs to get buffed? What?
Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, get out of here, man.
Oh my god. Well, obviously he didn't know that he was going against the knuckle do of Ed's, of course. Like, he had no idea. Well, I lost, therefore my character is bad.
Ironically, I fought Knuckle-Dew in that tournament on stream.
Oh, did you really? Oh my god.
I sure did. I got my ass beat.
No, look, that's alright. We've all been there. We've all been there. I showed up against Combo Breaker and I had to play Arlieth. I always fuck up his name, but he knows that I love him in my heart. And I was like, alright, like, it's cool. Like, it's the first round. It's not going to be on stream. No big deal. So we're playing and stuff like that. And I think the set finished 2-1. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I got my ass beat the last match, but I felt confident and, like, no big deal. And I get up, and Yango and a friend of ours, Admiral Nemo, behind me, have their fucking phones up the entire time, recorded the entire set. And I was just like, what is this? And they're like, oh, don't worry, man, so you can watch it back. I don't need to watch me get my ass beat back.
But you do. Yeah, you do need to watch yourself get your ass beat. That's so important for leveling up.
No,
Take the hard truth, man.
It is. That's a very big thing. You have to go back and watch your replays, especially the ones that you lose, so you can know where you fucked up.
Yeah, but still, it's like at that moment you're like, why would you do this to me?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the hell? Why would you do this? But since then, I've gone back and I've watched it multiple times, and I've sent him clips of like, what the hell is this? Like, you have to explain this to me. And so he's been super cool about it, and yeah, I don't know. He's a great guy. I'd fucking highly recommend playing with him. He's wonderful.
Yeah, he's great, and I mean we're talking about Arlieth, right?
Yes,
he's
of course.
doing all that foreign language, like Discord stuff now, and every time he's always giving feedback. Like, he's super nice. He's just like one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah. He's super, super kind. I ran into him the day after, or on Sunday morning, when I was walking around the venue, and he was super, super nice to me then, offered me some coffee and stuff like that. Like, he's super, super chill. Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, Arlieth, at Arlieth, yeah, there we go. On Twitter, he's recently started 3 Discords for helping people learn different languages. He has a Spanish, Korean, I believe, and Japanese Discords up. Yep. So if you'd like to learn those languages, hit him up on Twitter. I believe it's in his pinned tweet on his profile. So definitely check him out. Kagi in the chat wants to know. Oh, thank you. Yango actually linked it in the chat, so perfect. Thank you, Yango. I appreciate it. Kagi wants to know why the switch from Ed to Nakali.
Well, so in season 1, I was a Nakali main. Nakali was actually the first character I fell in love with in Street Fighter V. But during that first year, with me not having any inkling of how to play the game, with Nakali, season 1, broken ass Nakali, I made it somehow to Super Silver, and then I took a year off from the game because I was finishing my Bachelor's of Science. I came back and played Ed, and let me tell you, Ed is extremely linear. Ed is very easy execution-wise. There is nothing fancy about Ed except for his frame traps, and that's about it. But he really forced me to learn fundamentals. I had to be able to play footsies. I had to be able to anti-air. I had to be able to do frame traps. I had to look at frame data. I had to do everything possible to make Ed a viable character for me. But now that I'm kind of at this level of like, oh shit, I went to CEO and I almost made it out of pools. Like, I feel like I need to develop myself as a player, and I need to not fix things, but going into the next season of Street Fighter V, or potentially going into the next game in 2020, I want to be able to have like real execution again, because Ed doesn't have a DP motion.
Right.
You know, Ed doesn't have a half circle motion. He just has, EX Echo Upper is 3 buttons. Let me slam my face on my stick and like do the thing. And his anti-airs are super easy. His anti-airs is literally 2 kicks, but Nakali requires an actual DP motion. He has a command grab. He has, a quarter circle forward move. Like, he has like a little bit more execution stuff, and I feel like I absolutely need that if I want to be and continue to be a better fighting game player. And also, the fundamentals I learned with Ed transferred to Nakali very well, and Nakali does the job better. So I needed a character that was more versatile, but also kind of fit my playstyle. So switching from Ed to Nakali was actually pretty easy. So far, it's still kind of hard because Nakali is very stubby compared to Ed. Like, his normals are very short and stubby. They're big, but they're not like that kind of comfortable range that I like to be when I'm using Ed, So I'm still very like, I don't want to be this close to this person, but I have to be.
Right. Yeah, every time I think about Nakali in neutral, I just imagine that little, like, his jab, which is like the little paw swipe.
Oh, yeah. Or his knee, standing medium kick. Yeah. It's like, you got to be like in their face, but it's like, it's a big button, Like, you might be far away. Like, I'm sorry, you might be close to them and think that it's not going to hit, but they're going to like, you're going to be playing footsies and all of a sudden you stick your medium kick out. And it's like, oh, you got duffed by his knee. Shit.
Yeah. The knee, that, like, what is it? His standing heavy kick that he does, or like that extended heavy kick, like that thing will routinely fuck me up in the neutral.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, like, I feel like I'm at the
me every time too, because I'll just throw it out there. Like with Ed's roundhouse is good because it inches him forward, because it's airborne. So it's like actually a very good button. With Nakali, it's like, oh, I'll take my stubby caveman foot. Like, you don't expect that. You don't expect to walk into that, You don't know what's going, because you expect Nakali to be like, I'm going to dash up and unga bunga and like hit medium punch. But then they like stand at this weird distance and hit roundhouse, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and now I'm crush countered. Ah, shit, now I have to guess.
Yeah, shit.
Oh, God. Body Novel in the chat wants to know, do you think Ed is a well-designed character, or do you think he was a success in designing his character?
So, I don't know what you think about that. I mean, coming from my personal opinion, I think Ed is... it's kind of hard to... For Street Fighter V, I think he is a decently designed character, especially because Street Fighter V took away the focus on execution. So Street Fighter 4 was like, oh, you have to be able to FADC and like do one frame links and like plink and like do all this crazy stuff. And then in Street Fighter V, they wanted to focus more on like the other stuff. You know, they didn't want to make execution very hard. So Ed, guess what? His execution design wise for Street Fighter V is great because he's super simple character to play. Which makes it even better for Street Fighter V because that forces, if you're going to be an Ed player, you have to be able to play the game. You need to know how to shimmy, you need to know how to anti-air, you need to be able to frame trap, you need to understand like the actual mechanics of the game to play Ed. So I think he's a pretty decent design as far as Street Fighter V is concerned, but if you put him in any other Street Fighter or whatever, he'd be just the most terrible character on the earth.
Yeah, I think as a character, I think he's well designed for Street Fighter V as a character in fighting games. I wouldn't put him high on the tier list of well designed characters.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I do think the flavor that's given to Neo Shadowloo, where so far all the Neo Shadowloo characters that we've gotten have that same button layout. For anyone that doesn't know, Falk and Ed in Street Fighter V, they don't have your traditional special move buttons. So if you think of Street Fighter, you think of like a Hadoken motion, which is a quarter circle forward, or like a quarter circle back, plus kick for Tatsumaki, stuff like that. They don't have those. What they have, Ed has an uppercut, which he calls Psycho Upper, which is two punch buttons. Two punch buttons cause the Psycho Upper to come out. He has his version of like the actual in the air Shoryuken, which is like an up kick, which is two kicks. And then he has like his EX-DP. You press 2 punches for the regular DP. You press 3 punches for his EX Psycho Upper. That has invincibility on it. And same thing with Falk. Falk has like an EX-DP that's a Psycho Upper with 3 buttons. I don't think her 2 kicks do anything except for the lunge forward.
Yeah, it does a lunge forward. If you do the three kicks, it's an EX version of that, which you can then combo into her upper. Right.
So like it's cool that those characters that are in Neo Shadowloo have their own distinct control schemes. I do like that for flavor. The characters themselves, they don't work very well on a tier list. As balanced as Street Fighter V is, the reason that you'll never see them not that you'll never see them, but it's hard to see them in the top 16 is for the most part, although they have like invincible reversals, they have like tricky setups and stuff like that. For the most part, they're pretty honest characters. Like they play the footsie and neutral game, with the exception of Ed's fucking Psycho Snatcher. They play that neutral game pretty well.
And even then, like Ed, from a friend that I train with who's a Grandmaster Ed, he's like, Ed can out-neutral anyone. But that you could say that about any character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could take whatever character you want to whatever level you want, and Ed can out-neutral. But the thing about Ed is that he's extremely linear. He has no other combo potential than what's already been labbed. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have a lot of choices. Like, he has to stick to a very strict game plan. He wants to take away the tools that every other character has so he can have a fair, honest, man-to-man boxing match. That's like a quote from Dominion. Dominion's like, the way Ed has to play the game is like, you think about the characters you fight, you think about what you can take away from them in neutral, and then you just go back to neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is hilarious because Ed's not considered a top tier character. He never will be. You don't see Ed players in top 64 of majors ever. Dominion, hasn't competed in a long time. He's on a real life grind. But what I mean to say is like Ed doesn't have a lot of choices against the whole cast of Street Fighter V. And he fights the top tiers really well though. That's like the really dumb thing about him. Like when it comes to Akuma's like, oh, I'm going to do air fireball. I'm going to demon flip. Guess what Ed gets to do? He gets to air V-skill, demon flip, and air fireball. Even if it's a V-trigger. Like, that's the best answer of most of the characters in the cast for Akuma. Yeah. And Abigail against Ed, I mean, that's like, not to say that Abigail's like as top tier as he was, but he's still a very solid character. Ed's like, I get to ignore armor. I get to Psycho Flicker and still ignore armor. I get to uncharged V-skill. Like, people were bitching about Abigail, and I'm over here like, let me fight every Abigail player on the earth because I love this matchup.
Ed is the perfect hard counter to Abigail, and it's like, it's very interesting that they both came out in the same season. They were kind of designed around each other. Like Abigail is this big guy who like breaks armor, and he's like a good matchup for Balrog and a bunch of the other cast. But then this character Ed that comes around that everyone's kind of like, whatever. Like Ed and Fong are super solid counter picks against Abigail. Like if you have a pocket either one of those characters, you will fuck Abigail up. Like that's just the honest truth about it. Jazzy J wants to know why you picked Ed in the beginning. Jazzy J, in case you didn't know, she started with Nikali, and then Ed came along later on. It wasn't like starting with Ed. At least.
So why did I choose Ed?
Yeah.
After taking a year off from Street Fighter, I came back and I kind of like looked at the whole cast, and I was like, here's the naive Peachon from then. I said, oh, Nikali's boring. I don't want to use him. He's stupid. Like after a year away from him, I was like, okay, I hate this character, whatever. And so I decided to pick Ed. The girl in me was like, look at this handsome, bratty, stupid boy character. I guess I'm going to pick him. And then I picked him, and ever since then, I was just like, okay, well, this is my character now. A lot of people thought his design was boring. I actually thought it was interesting, like his character design. I was like, okay, cool. He's like got a fireball. Cool. He punches and he kicks. He's like Balrog's like adopted son or whatever, pretty much. And like something about him just stuck to me, and I felt like that was the character that I just wanted to use. It's as simple as, wow, he looks cool, so I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah, hey, look, sometimes that's all you need. Like that's why I gravitated toward Astaroth and Soul Calibur. Like, I played a lot of Zangief and shit like that in Street Fighter 2 in those days. So like big characters always, I'm like, oh man, that guy's kind of cool. But like when I started Soul Calibur, I was like, man, Valdo's kind of weird. I like that guy. But then I saw Astaroth played like on arcade mode, and I was like, oh, fucking Astaroth is my dude. Like, yeah, he looks cool. I want to play that fucking guy.
Yeah, like that's my guy. Yeah. So for me, like I just saw it and he was just cool, and then that was it. And I decided to just stick to it, And I think the mistake that a lot of beginners in any fighting game make is straying too far from one character. It's different if you've been playing fighting games for 10 years, you reach the highest possible rank in every game, you've placed top 8s in tournaments. You can pick whatever character you want because you have insane fundamentals. But if you're a new player and you decide to hop from one character to the next, you're not going to learn anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I just kept teeter-tottering all the time, and I didn't know who I wanted to use. And then I chose Ed, and then I stuck to Ed for a whole year, and that paid off. You know what I mean? It gave me time to learn the game, but it gave me time to kind of like really focus on how to play Street Fighter 5, and also kind of focus on like how to play Ed and what's important about him. So I think focusing on one character is good, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people have a character crisis where they're like, oh man, my character has this flaws, like I should pick up this character that doesn't have these flaws. But they have other flaws, and when you're constantly going back and forth between them, and you're not like, and you're not focusing on your weak points in order to make them sharper, it's very hard for you. It's very hard to improve. If you're constantly blaming what your character can do instead of what you can't do around the character, you're never going to be able to improve going forward with all games.
And it's just interesting because people are like, wow, your Ed is like so good now compared to like how you were a year ago, and your Ed is so good, yada yada yada. And I'm like, see, that's the thing. Like everybody wants to sit down and see me pick Ed at this character select screen and be like, oh, this person doesn't know what they're doing because they're picking the worst, one of the worst characters in the game, and then they get their ass beat because that's what they're thinking, right? So that already is the option select. It's like, oh, I picked Ed, haha. This person, like the person sitting next to me is like, oh, this person picks Ed. They don't know what they're doing. It's like, no, you don't think you know it. Like it's mostly like you think I picked Ed and I suck. Like that's not how this works.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have no idea like how this goes. Oh my God. Yeah, people that look down on people that play low tier characters always fucking like I don't understand what your thinking is. Like that's your first step to ending up on a fucking highlight clip because you're over here disrespecting somebody. Oh my gosh. Yes. Quick shout outs. Thank you, Newman, for subscribing. Like I said, this is a Twitch, so there's gonna be notifications that come through. I'm really sorry, guys. But shout outs to Newman for subscribing. Thank you very much.
Woo! Subscription!
Yay! Much appreciated. Yeah, so we've gone really far into the FGC reads, and I know earlier you apologized for like going off tangent and shit like that. Don't ever apologize because we go a lot of places here on the show.
Oh yeah.
So you've been all over. I saw you at Combo Breaker. You were running around like a crazy person, shaking hands, kissing babies, playing games up on stream, winning matches on stream. By the way, like we cheered the fuck out of you on stream at Combo Breaker. Like that was excellent.
Yo, I'm so glad that you guys saw that. But you want to hear the craziest thing? Like the craziest thing about that match?
Absolutely, hit me up.
The craziest thing about that match is that the guy that I played against is somebody from the dance game community that I had not seen in 10 years.
What?
He comes up to me and he just goes, Purin? And I'm like, yo, Pat, like Mr. 12,000, dude, is that you? And he goes, holy shit, I haven't seen you in like 10 years. And I looked at him and I go, yo, we gotta fight each other. And then the TO comes up, yo, you guys gotta play on stream. I'm like, oh no.
Oh my god, what a way to reunite. Holy shit.
I know. And I felt he was like super nervous up there. And like for me, like the stream setup is like the ideal setup. It's loud. I mean, it's quiet up there. The setup is loud. There's like no distractions or whatever. So I was like feeling it. I was like, okay, I'm good to go. And I could tell my friend was like super nervous, but it was like we hadn't seen each other in 10 years, and then we had to fight at a major. Like what?
Yeah, exactly. Not only did you have to fight at a major, you had to get on stage at a major.
Seriously.
Like, and it's not just like, oh, they're like on a setup and it's being broadcast. Like that screen in there, like it's not the main screen, but those side screens are still fucking huge. You can see those from the back of the arena. Like, those are giant screens. Oh, my God.
Anyway, yeah, sorry to go off on, again.
No,
I shouldn't
please.
Apologize, but yeah, that was just a combo breaker side note.
No, please don't apologize. No, that's an awesome story. Like, I fucking love that story. That's great. If I ever run into anyone from, like, the Legend of Dragoon or RPG community, like, 10 years down the line.
I love that game!
Oh, my God. I've been all about it lately. I've been streaming the hell out of it.
Maru is my favorite character!
That is my favorite game of all time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was just talking about this yesterday with some people, but I play through that game once a year, and I have every year since it came out.
I fucking love that game. Seriously.
I'm in the middle of completing it right now, getting everyone's additions leveled up and all their Dragoons leveled up and stuff like that.
Hell yes.
Max level, which that's a fucking serious grind, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But I love that game. That game, I got it for my birthday when I was like 11, because it came out in 2000. My friend's grandma got it for me in 2001. And every year since then, I've played through that game at least once. I think I've only missed like a couple years where I haven't played through it.
Holy shit, that's awesome. And I think I actually own 2 copies of it.
Oh my
God. I always dreamed. It's kind of weird because like during that time of like JRPGs, my very first, like, I don't know how we got to this tangent. This is awesome and crazy, but Legend of Dragoon and Chrono Cross, people trash talk that game because it was always overshadowed by Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Trigger is a great game and everything, but because of like that time period where I was like really playing RPGs, Chrono Cross has a really, really special place in my heart just in general. So Chrono Cross, Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy IX, Xenogears, Xenosaga, like that kind of stuff, like that realm of RPGs, like that time period was like really important for my growth as like a gamer, I was like, these games are awesome, like I can stay up all night like playing this shit, and I love them, and I wish that they all got remastered, like these games, all these Final Fantasies, like of course Final Fantasy VII got like a remaster. I'm like, man, Legend of Dragoon and Chrono Cross being remastered as games would look beautiful, like, in this day and age.
I'm actually staring at Chrono Cross right now, like, the way that my table is situated, like, my games are, like, eye level, and I can see Chrono Cross, like, out of the corner of my eye.
Oh my god.
I'm actually very happy with it. Yeah, if Legend of Dragoon could get remastered, I don't care if they have to crowdfund it, I will, every ounce, like, every bit of my paycheck will go to completing that game. I don't give a shit. I'll crowdfund the whole thing. Please, God, someone remake Legend of Dragoon. I'd be so happy.
Take $20,000. I love you, Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, listen, I will empty out my 401k. I don't give a shit.
No, do not.
I don't care. Like, someone please make it happen. But yeah, no, those games are super important to me. Like, as a person that plays video games, like, there's a game. I believe it was like Dark Stone or something like that. Not Dark Crystal. That was the movie. But like Power Stone. Not Power Stone. That's a fighting game. It was Dark Stone, I think. I'll find it later. But like Darkstone, Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy IX, Chrono Cross, like all those games were like super big in my heart, and that's why I played more of the PlayStation than the N64 at the time. Just because the N64 had no fucking RPGs to play. Like the one time I found an RPG, it was Ogre 64, and that
was, my god, Ogre 64.
Yeah, and like that game just did nothing for me, so I was just like, all right, like then Final Fantasy Tactics rolled around.
That game is so sick. That game is one of the best Final Fantasy games out there. If anybody hasn't played Final Fantasy Tactics, you should.
Yeah, you 100% should. Like, you're absolutely missing out if you haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics. They have so many ports of it. It is in so many places. Like, please, please, please play the hell out of Final Fantasy Tactics. The sequel of Final Fantasy Tactics A2, which is like, I believe DS only, not the best, but you could still like play it and have a good time. Like, definitely not complaining. But yeah, like, and then I don't know. The only time I ever switched off of like the PS1 RPGs was like when Fire Emblem came out, and after I had played Melee, and like I learned
Melee, dude, I was a Melee player. That's like technically before that was my pre-FGC time.
Yeah, like that was when I first started picking up Melee. I learned about Marth and Roy. Like that's when I was like, oh man, what are these characters? Where are they from? And like, hell yeah. Just so everyone knows, Ogre Battle 64 is up on the screen right now. Ogre 64, as we refer to it, because we're super smart people and we know what games we're talking about.
Yeah.
That game, it's certainly a game. I'll tell you that much. It's certainly a game.
Look at that freaking artwork. It's like you went to someone's high school art class. Somebody who is like going through their edgelord phase. Like, oh yeah, man. Like, I had to draw this dragon, and then like. Kind of like cut some magazine clippings and make some flames in the background.
This was definitely their first collage work. Like their AIM name, like their AOL online name was like XX Dark Shadow XX. Like, oh my god, yeah, the fucking Ogre Battle 64. What a fucking trip.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, where was we going? I don't know. Melee's fun. I fucking love Melee.
Yeah. I mean, I gave up on Melee because the scene is just like, it was terrible even then. I just couldn't stand the people. So, yeah, that like, I played for a while. I liked it. It was fun, but then I just couldn't put up with like the different people in the scene back then. And that was probably like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's I'm super casual at Melee. Like, I enjoy it a lot. I play it a lot with friends and stuff like that. But like, as far as entering tournaments and stuff goes, the scene has just never been for me, and I know that community works hard for a lot of things, especially like getting their scene together and stuff like that. But that scene has just never been for me. They're like the parts of the FGC that I put up with because I really really love fighting games. Like I'm willing to deal with and like get around, but like the Smash scene really really magnifies some of those problems that I don't care about Smash enough to put up with that shit.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Look, for the most part, we're a positive show. I know stuff's been going on in the FGC right now. I'm not smart enough or expert enough to talk about it. All I can say is keep your fucking hands to yourself, everyone. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a good enough PSA, I think. I mean, there's been a lot of... Again, you saying that this is positive podcast and positive, like, thing is great because that's kind of what we need more of. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the FGC, but the nice thing about that is that so many people are like kind of coming together and spreading awareness and like being there for each other. That's like one of the things I love about the FGC.
Right. The community aspect when we actually get together and like make shit happen is unparalleled by any other community out there.
Yeah.
And it's good when people do band together. And like I said, I'm not banning those kind of talks from like the podcast or anything like that. I'm just saying that I'm not smart enough to go into it. But it does seem like a common sense thing for the most part. Like all you have to do is don't fucking touch people. Like unless they want to be touched. That's it. That's the end. Like we don't need a fucking dissertation on this. I appreciate the people that have talked about it, and people much smarter than I have put out like the conversations and talks and speeches about it. And they've gone into great detail, so please find those people and talk to them. But as far as my caveman thinking goes, don't fucking touch people unless they want to be touched, or unless you know them very, very deeply, and you're like they let you, get away with that stuff, like Newman does when I touch him. All right, so away from that, like I'm gonna hard transition away from that because I'm awful. But what has been you've been around the scene for a long time. You did tournament organizing for the longest time. You started competing in 2016 around that time with Street Fighter V. So you've been around the scene for like 10 years or longer at this point. What's your favorite story that's come out of the FGC? For you personally, or in the overarching idea of the FGC?
Favorite story that's come out of the FGC? Man, I have so many stories.
That's
it's
okay.
Like it's. I just have too many stories. I'm trying to think of. My favorite story that's come out of. I think the most FGC grassroots story I have that I also have a video of is one year at a big E major. I think it was Summer Jam. One of the guys in the scene, Brahim, was like, he's walking around the venue, like whatever. He's walking around. He's like, yo, hey guys, like trying to get our attention. He's like, yo, who's got me on $100 coin flip? that's the most FGC thing I ever was exposed to, I think, to start. This guy literally comes out into the crowd and he's like, yo, $100 coin flip. And we all get in a circle, like, you know, I'm trying to think of who was there. Like, Jay Wong was there, L.I. Joe, Yipes, like Big E, like a couple other randoms, like from the scene, yada, yada, yada. We start circling around. I think Noel was there. And, like, this was my first time, like, really being exposed to, like, the big names of the FGC all in one place, but with nothing related to fighting games at all. And we get in a circle, and Brahim's like, yeah, $100 coin flip. L.I. Joe walks up. He pulls out his wallet. This man pulls out a $100 bill and throws it in the middle of the circle and goes, there's your 100, homie. You're walking around saying $100 coin flip. And I am not kidding, guys. They ran a fucking bracket for coin flips.
Oh, God, that makes my fucking heart hurt.
Random seating, $20 entry. Random seating, best 3 out of 5, I think, coin flips. And they streamed that shit.
Oh, my God. These fucking madmen. I know some guys at Combo Breaker did like a coin flip, like how I think it was like $5 bets or maybe $20 bets, and that was enough. $100 coin flips, absolutely not. Absolutely, get the fuck out of here. But like, it's so weird that like coin flip is seriously embedded into FGC culture. Like it really is. Like at any event, you will fucking find. I guarantee you will find someone doing a fucking coin flip event. Yeah,
coin flip or like rock paper scissors. Yeah, you know, like. The conversation of, no, you're always supposed to throw rock. Like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this concept is, rock, paper, scissors, money match.
Right, like, what the fuck? Like, what are these unwritten rules? I'm here to take your goddamn money.
Yeah. And also, this is like an actual, like, FGC related story. I was there at EVO when GamerB beat Justin Wong on stream, like, on the big screen. I was there for that. And so that was like an iconic memory and story for me because I remember Justin being like, yo, Adon's like the worst character in Street Fighter 4. And then GamerB gets up there and beats his ass.
That's solid. No, that's a good fucking story, too. That, like, whenever you hear someone downplay a character and then they lose to that character, just, mwah. Oh, beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. If I ever lose to a Vega on stream, like, I lose to Vega all the time, but if I ever lose to a Vega on stream, just fucking shoot me in the face. I've talked way too much shit about Vega to actually lose to Vega on stream. So please, Lord Jesus.
You'll lose to Vega and I will just come over and whisper in your ear, Yole.
Oh my God. I'll retire on the fucking spot. I'll leave my pad up there. I won't be able to handle this shit. Oh my God. Me and Abigail have to separate. He'll get the kids.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Terrible. Just terrible. Yango says don't gamble in the FGC. People take your money.
Oh my God.
No, listen, that's why you do gamble in the FGC, so that way you can take other people's money. Look, the house always wins until it doesn't, alright? Earlier, Yango hopped in. He wanted to know, he mentioned that you wanted to learn Uniclear. Are there any other fighting games that you want to jump into that you have little to no exposure or experience in?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So I think, let's see, are there any other fighting games that I have little to no experience or exposure in that I'm interested in? That's such a tough question because, again, I'm not really interested in dabbling in anything, but I've recently started thinking, I always, after every major, think about Tekken 7. Always. Yeah. There's a copy collecting dust underneath my monitor right now. And every time I see Tekken and I watch #GoodAssTekken, I myself want to play Tekken. But I know that it's not going to happen unless one of you guys in the stream says, hey, Peachon, let's play Tekken, please.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, someone teach us Tekken.
I've kind of wanted to get into the realm of 3D games. I always say I'm going to, and then Gio Brown comes in, he's like, you know you're not going to do it just because you don't have time. And I'm like, you are correct. He's not wrong. Also, you know, because I'm playing Hearthstone and like trying to like, I got too many eggs everywhere in all kinds of places. But I think 3D games is something that I have little experience in and something that I would like to jump into. I just don't know if I ever will. So Soul Calibur is interesting because back in the day we'd go to the arcade to play DDR and there's a Soul Calibur 2 cabinet in between the two machines. So we would play Soul Calibur 2 all the time. Like, I love Soul Calibur 2, but when the new Soul Calibur came out, I thought I was going to play it, and then I just never touched it.
Yeah.
So, probably Tekken 7, probably Soul Calibur 6. Like one of those two games I would like to be like interested, maybe kind of dabble in, but I know that right now I'm not going to take them seriously.
Yeah, for sure. I know with Soul Calibur 6, I think I spent more time in the character creator than actually playing the game.
Yeah. That's a big appeal about the game though, that's like
for sure.
Some people that's like their favorite part.
Oh, absolutely. Like if Street Fighter ever comes out with a character creator, it's done. It's a wrap. I don't think I'll ever touch another game ever for as long as I live. I was gonna ask you about that too. You touched on Hearthstone for a second because I know you stream Hearthstone all the time. I often lurk in your streams when you're playing Hearthstone because I understand Hearthstone on a fundamental level, but like not at a good enough level to actually talk about it. So I never really say anything. I play a lot of Magic. Like Magic the Gathering is my shit. Where does the love for Hearthstone come from? Because that seems like a complete departure from an Ed player. DPing people on their wake up.
Crazy departure. So like Geobron plays, he's very good at Hearthstone. Legend is like the highest possible rank, and then you like gain a rank within that rank. And he's really good at it. He loves Hearthstone. And so like, one day I was like sitting around eating food and he just looks at me with this like deep look and he just goes, "Hey, can you do the training mode in Hearthstone?" And I just looked at him and I'm like, "Are you seriously asking me this right now? Like, you really want me to do this? Like, you really want me to do training mode for Hearthstone? You really do?" He's like, "Yeah, please." And I was like, I can't say no to these puppy dog eyes. I sat down and I played it, and it was, again, instantaneous love. Like, it wasn't like I like this game. It was like oh, I see. I really want to play this game. And it's completely different from being an Ed player because Hearthstone is very calculated. Like there's a lot of decision making, and I mean, since you play Magic, you kind of know like hard games require like a lot of that.
Right.
But with Hearthstone, there's a lot of math, and I like puzzles, so that's why I really like Hearthstone. It's a different type of grind. It's like very relaxing grind. Like even if I lose, I'm like, man, I lost because of the bad matchup or misplay. And like in card games, I don't know how Magic works when it comes to matchups, but in Hearthstone, bad matchups are bad matchups. Like it's like if it's a bad matchup for you, you're probably gonna lose. There's no coming out of it. Like matchups actually matter.
Right. There are counter decks and like counter picks and stuff like that. And that's why a lot of people sideboard cards in and out of their decks.
Right.
But for the most part, it's not really. You can get away like with a bad matchup, like heavy quotation marks, like a bad matchup, and still play well and still win the game as long as like your deck goes off. Like the matchups really don't matter that much.
Yeah.
Whereas
so
in Hearthstone,
with
different.
Yeah, in Hearthstone, like the matchups just do matter. Like different kinds of decks. Right now, there was a new expansion, so the meta is changing or whatever, and so I'm playing a new, completely different deck from what I played last season. So it's kind of interesting. I know Magic Arena just came out, right? It's online play. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
With Hearthstone, the season resets. So let's say you make it to whatever rank, like what was last month? July. Yes. So July, I made rank 3, and then the next month, the new season, they reset your rank. So you go back 4 ranks.
Okay.
So like I started at 7 this month.
Gotcha.
So your grind resets essentially, and it's kind of nice because it kind of motivates you to like, play new decks, like do whatever grind. It's just different from Street Fighter 5. Like in Street Fighter 5, I feel like I can still go on tilt, and I feel like I have so much to learn, and it's like a much longer like learning period. But with Hearthstone, I guess a little bit of snapshot for you guys. So I started at the beginner rank of 50. Which was kind of new to Hearthstone, but most people say that the grind from at least rank 25 up to 5 takes as long as the grind from 5 up to Legend, which is like, but I grinded from rank 25, not even rank 25, I grinded from rank 50 to rank 3 in 2.5 months, which is not very long.
Damn.
So I got pretty good pretty quickly, and a lot of people who play Hearthstone and talk to me about it, they're like, you could probably make Legend this month if you really wanted to. But the thing about it is, I'm free to play. I don't pay for the cards, so I don't have any good cards. Like I'm just playing literally with a bum ass deck. I'm playing with a low tier deck. How about that? I will say right now.
Yeah. Oh look, that's the free to play life, because like that's how I played Magic Arena for the longest time, was like free to play, and I actually haven't played it in a couple months since they came out with their new ranking system and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been too busy with Street Fighter, but yeah, no, being a free to play scrub, I feel your pain. Don't you worry.
So yeah, I'm glad you feel my pain. And even then, like, so right now, so the ranks reset. I started at rank 7. I'm at rank 4, but I'm still free to play. And there's all these new cards, and so I had to deal with this new meta of cards with my bum ass deck.
Oh man.
And I'm still doing okay. Like, the thing is, with Hearthstone, you can outplay people. I mean, it's just like Street Fighter 5. You can pick a low tier character and beat somebody who plays a top tier character, but it's all about like how you manage your resources. Right. So definitely very different. I don't EX Echo upper people on their wake up in Hearthstone. I promise.
Oh man, could you imagine if Street Fighter 5 reset rank every season?
Yeah, I talked about that with Overhaul and a couple other people on the stream. I'm like, man, what Street Fighter reset rank every season? So like you grind it up to, you know, like diamond, and then the next season you restarted at plat. Like, you know, how crazy would that be to have to like constantly do that?
Right.
And it'd be kind of interesting because it might motivate people, and maybe like the separation from one rank to the next wouldn't be like as many points. It would be like maybe like, you know, let's say 2,000 or 3,000 points between each rank.
Right.
But how crazy would that be?
Right. Well, I mean, I think that'd be excellent. But and like if they reduce like the cost for LP required to get to certain ranks,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But like, give an incentive. So like, let's say you get to Warlord at the end of the season, you get a fucking 100,000 FM. Like you get enough fight money, you could buy a new character if you wanted to, or like make it 80,000, like just shy of buying a new character.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because if it reset, like in Hearthstone, you know, if you make it up to Legend, you come back down 4 ranks, but it's like, it's not like you go back all the way to the bottom. You just go back a little bit.
Right.
So if you were Platinum, but you happen to grind all the way up to Master, well, guess what? Your next season you start as Diamond, which is like a lot, not as far away as it was before. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it would be interesting.
We wouldn't reset you all the way back, but like if you're Platinum, you get reset to Gold. Like we'll put you in Gold. If you're Warlord, we'll put you at like Master rank, and like you can start from there. Master rank, you start at Diamond, like stuff like that, you know.
And again, the LP like differences between ranks would just have to be like a lot less or something. I think that would have been an interesting concept, like especially for fighting games. I don't think any fighting games do that sort of thing, and you know, it just makes people continue to stay in practice. Or if you decide to not grind for a while, you end up as a rookie again. You got to start over, and it kind of helps you warm back up.
Right. Yeah, I think that'd be very interesting, especially for people that want to try new characters. I think I talked about this with Nogaremi a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like for people that want to learn new characters or try new characters and like not have to start a Smurf account, like it would be like kind of cool to be able to like, oh man, I got reset to Platinum, but like this is my opportunity to like take Blanca online and like learn Blanca for a little bit, and like if that doesn't work out for me, I'll go back to whoever and try to rank up again.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, being reset to that area would be pretty cool. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll do something like that in Street Fighter 6. Hopefully that game's a far ways off, though, because I'm enjoying Street Fighter 5 too much for it to go away at this point.
Yeah, I enjoy it too, but I know the Capcom had mentioned they're only supporting Street Fighter 5 until 2020.
Right.
So we'll see what that actually means.
Yeah, maybe like they'll take a break from the Street Fighter series and give us like Tekken Cross Street Fighter for a while. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Or maybe in my heart they'll bring back like the Capcom versus SNK series. Now the SNK.
Oh my gosh.
That would
a lot of people nowadays, like even some of the OGs, like I remember not Justin Wong, but Josh Wong, he was like, if I could go back and learn a game, I would probably pick like one of the very old Guilty Gear games. But other people say that if they could go back and pick a game to be really good at, it would be CVS2. Yeah.
CVS2 consistently is like the game where like, man, you think you're hot shit? Like go play CVS2. Like I dare you.
Yeah.
Or like, oh yeah, Yango says in the chat, Capcom All Stars. I've been
Capcom All Stars.
Yes, I've been wanting a Capcom All Stars game that's just like, you know, like Marvel vs. Capcom style, but like just Capcom. Like the Capcom universe is so big, and every time that there's like one of these versus games, we're like, oh man, why didn't this character get in from this game? Like, just give me 70 Capcom characters. Like, bloat the fuck out of the roster. Like, make it a giant roster of just Capcom characters. I'd be so happy.
It'd be so fun.
If I could finally get like Mike Hager versus like, I don't know, like give me any Capcom character. Like Leon from Resident Evil 4. I'd just be so happy. Well, Resident Evil 2 really, but semantics.
Have you guys ever played that really bad game called Eternal Champions?
Eternal Champions?
Yeah.
Is that the Super Nintendo game?
I think it's a Sega game.
Oh my gosh.
Sega Genesis?
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking
Champions,
about. Yes.
Sega something something.
Yes.
We ran a tournament for that one time, and I'm like, this game is ridiculous. You could be a chicken, and you could be a snake, and apparently you could be straight up Blade Runner. Like,
yes.
What?
Yes. Yeah, this game, hold on. I know exactly the game you're talking about. Let me throw a picture of it on screen for anyone that hasn't seen this fucking wonderful box art, because it is wonderful box art. They have like a detective, like Dick Tracy character in this game for whatever reason. Like, I've never understood it, but like the backgrounds in this game are just like, look at this box art. Like, this is, that is beautiful box art right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yo, and there's an owl in the game, and the owl totally has an unblockable, and it's crazy. It's just the worst game on the earth, but for some reason we were so hype about it at this tournament.
It gets unreasonably hype, like this one, and what's the other one? It's like Warlord or something like that. Warlord is another one of those like old games, but like it has no reason to be as good as it is, and it's not necessarily a good game, but it makes for good watching.
Yes.
And oh man, yeah, Eternal Champions is one of those games. I know the YouTube series Super Couch Fighters did a Run It Back episode on Eternal Champions. When they did like a 45-minute like, you know, they each went through the entire roster and played each other and stuff like that. That is an excellent video to go back and watch, because Eternal Champions is just one of those games that like they don't make fighting games like that anymore.
No, and I think other games that I want to mention because are on my mind. Do you guys remember Clay Fighter?
Yeah, I have Clay Fighter 63 and a third staring at me right now.
God.
I have Blue Suede Goo, who was like
Blue Suede Goo?
Yeah, that was the Elvis character.
Holy shit.
Yeah, listen, I know me some Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter 63 and a third is excellent for the N64, because they had Earthworm Jim as a character in that game too.
Yes.
Yeah, Clay Fighters is my shit. Please, look, run me through the nostalgia games, because I guarantee I either own them or I've played the shit out of them.
Yeah, those are the only two that I've have come to mind because they have popped up at previous like major tournaments or have been mentioned.
That's totally okay.
In the past, but
totally okay. Hold on, I'm gonna try to pull up Blue Suede Goo for everyone, so everyone knows I'm not full of shit. Blue Suede Goo was yeah, that was the Elvis-like character in Clay Fighters, and man, they really got away with just some awful shit in the 90s.
Yeah, there was also a period where it was like kind of like during Seasons Beatings era of tournament, so probably like the not late 2000s because we're in that, but just like in the time where Seasons Beatings was like a popular tournament, so maybe mid 2000s. What I was going to mention was people were obsessed with Battle Fantasia as well. I don't know if you guys remember that game.
Yes, on the Xbox 360. I think it was on PS3 as well. But yeah, Battle Fantasia was one of those games that like I bought at GameStop because it was like $18, and I thought it was an RPG, so that's why I bought it in the first place. And boy, was I fucking surprised when I loaded that thing up and like Don Fan was staring me in the face. I was very confused, but I grew to love that game immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
That man, that's another one that like does not get enough love. I mean, I know it's coming back like somewhat of a resurgence now, but that game is like one that I think ArcSys made that one, right? Arc Systems.
I think so.
Yeah, that was another game that like they made that like went under the radar, but like the burn meter, whatever the fuck it was, that game is excellent. Yes, everyone go play it. That one and Fighters Destiny 2 is always the one that gets like pulled up. There we go. There's Blue Suede View on the screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go.
Look at his hair.
It's so good. That like it dangles in front of his face. The hair like changes shape. It's so good. It's so good. Fighters Destiny 2 on the N64 is another one that always gets pulled out at like mystery game tournaments. And it's like a 3D fighter that like takes place usually on like a box like elevated in the air. And that game is super interesting because you don't knock the person out like you don't drain a life bar. I mean, you can drain a life bar, but you do enough damage and they enter like a stun mode, and when they're in that stun mode, any attack knocks them down. When they get knocked down, you get 3 points, and it's judged by like judges. So you get points for knocking the person down, You can get points for like doing a throw on someone and throwing them down or knocking them out of the ring.
What?
Yeah, it is the craziest game. So like, if you knock someone out of the ring, it's 1 point. You have to get to 7 points, but you can adjust like how many you get. If you throw somebody, when you go to throw someone, there's actually a bar that shows up on screen, and it's the tech meter, and it shows you how long you have, like the time period that you can tech the throw. And like if you tech the throw, boom, like you reset to neutral. Or you can counter throw, so then you will start throwing the opponent instead, and then they get a smaller tech like window to throw you in. And if you throw someone, it's like 2 points, and if you knock them down, it's 3 points. The scoring system for that game is fucking wild. But Fighters Destiny 2 is like always gets pulled out at mystery game tournaments. It's always hype as shit because it's super easy to pick up. Like that game is so fucking good. I can't say
it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like just by the description you just gave to this stream chat, like it sounds amazing.
Yeah, like for an N64.
I actually have never heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
Oh my god, yeah, for an N64 fighting game, that game needs to come back. Like Fighters Destiny 3 is the one like that gets forgotten to time. But it's very, very good. There's a fucking clown in that game. That you can play. Yeah, there's a clown that you can play as that's like super broken. Yeah, that whole game is just.
I'm looking this shit up right now as we speak.
Fighters Destiny 2 is everyone like go out and play it. Like go. I'm not gonna say emulate it because like that's illegal. Like don't emulate it. But if you fucking I don't know if you find some way to play it, you should absolutely play it.
Apparently, I'll just have to enter the mystery game tournament in order to play it.
Yeah, I think they played it at Frosty Faustings this last year. As like in one of the rounds, and I know they played it at another tournament I was at. But it's there we go. There's like a screenshot from the game. Yeah, Fighters Destiny 2, excellent. Oh, you can play as a cow. You can shake your udders at people.
You can play as a cow?
Yes, I forget the cow's name. But you can play as a cow. You can play as a robot. This is the
I'm
most.
looking it up right now.
Yeah.
The cow's name is Moo, M-O-U.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this game goes off the rails so hard. But like it seriously embraced like what it was. There we go. There's Moo the cow and D-Dog.
Moo.
Oh yeah, and like he like moves after rounds and stuff like that. Yeah, this fucking
He's getting
game.
kicked in the udder. Or she, I guess. I mean, getting kicked in the udder.
This is the most anyone's talked about Fighters Destiny 2 in like 20 years. So that game's got enough screen time. Yeah, that's another one. I think Super Couch Fighters did a retrospective on that one too. I think they did the first game, not the second game. The second game is like really fleshed out. The second game, goddamn. All right, we're gonna stop talking about Fighters Destiny. I'm really sorry, everyone. But the second game has a mode where it's like a Mario Party mode where you like you spin a roulette wheel and you move that many spaces. When you land on a space, you can like do health up, you can do attack up, or you can fight someone and get like a random like bonus stat attribute that like goes up. The game's fucking wild. Go find Fighters Destiny, go play it, bring the game back. Like I'm gonna lead the Fighters Destiny 2 charge back into Combo Breaker 2020. Like that's my goal at this point. Hot damn.
I believe in you.
Oh, well, thank you, Peach, and thank you for entertaining me down my walk down crazy old fighting game lane. Okay, so everyone, this is the part where we're getting close to the end of the show. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes at this point. Time has melted by. Honestly, it's been a fucking awesome time talking to you. Period.
Yeah, we had it's been so much fun so far, and I actually can't even believe that much time already passed.
Yeah, it's been wild. So for anyone in the chat, if anyone's around, if you guys want to ask us questions, now is the time to throw questions at us. Before I ask Pierre this last question, or as I ask her this last question, feel free to throw all your questions at us, whatever you have that you want to ask. If we didn't get to it during the show, or if anything popped up, please feel free to throw it in the chat. But Peachan, before I let you go, I have to know, what is something that's on your mind recently? What's something you want to get off your chest? What's just something that you want to talk about that you haven't had an outlet to yet? Hit us with whatever's on your mind right now.
Whatever is on my mind right now. Well, I got a couple things on my mind. I think the overwhelming feel of graduate school about to start in 3 weeks is definitely kind of like, it's weighing down on me because I have a lot of things I have to done, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get everything done in 3 weeks and be like ready to go? You know, because it's like I'm a new grad student, and it's like starting school all over again. I hope that I don't completely crash and burn. Like, I want to make sure I'm like doing well, and like I'm just nervous. You know, I got the heebie-jeebies for the first time in a long time.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like that's just like for sure a feeling I like haven't shaken yet. But once I start, like I'm sure it'll be fine. And the other thing that I've kind of have on my mind is obviously all the stuff going on with FGC and like just women of the FGC in general. You know, this has been a very strong year for us, and I know that it's just been a good year for the whole FGC, but there's also been a lot of really ugly parts of it. So like right now we're going through that ugly period of the FGC, and I've seen a lot of terrible things, and it like really hurts me to know that like a lot of men and women have gone through like all these crazy things. But that's why the one thing that has been on my mind, especially today, is that little project I started. You know, I wanted to take some women who are interested in leveling up in Street Fighter. It's like, it's not really Exo Academy. It's like a mini Peachon's training regimen where I wanted to gauge interest to see if there are any ladies out there who are interested in leveling up in Street Fighter 5, but via ranked. So like any girls who are from like who want to get from bronze to whatever rank, or essentially girls that are ranging in the I want to get from bronze to gold. Like I wanted to help somebody out there level up in a meaningful way. And that's just been on my mind. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about like my journey through fighting games and like how I got better and how I want to like take that and give it back to someone else.
No, that's excellent. That's actually something that I have in my notes that I wanted to talk to you about, and I completely fucking blanked on it.
So
sideload everywhere else. But yeah, I know you started this. I know you posted about it yesterday on Twitter. You're giving people until I believe Friday, which is the 16th, to get a hold of you. So please, any women of the FGC, if you guys hit up P-Chan at P_Chan FGC on Twitter. And fucking get better at fighting games. And she's an excellent coach. She's an excellent teacher.
The thing is kind of like, again, the video that I posted, I didn't even expect people to like look that much into it or respond to it, but it got very huge response, you know.
Right.
And a lot of girls showed their interest. And for me, like, you know, obviously I could train guys too, but it's specifically about the women of the FGC because that's like the part that I want to support and represent, because we've just, you know, I want to keep being able to help ladies out there. And as a beginner, like, it's kind of intimidating. Like, asking a top player for help, or asking, like, even just asking a guy player who's better than you, like, sometimes it's a little scary because they don't necessarily give you, like, the right information or approachable information. So I wanted to be able to give, you know, like, I fought all kinds of people. I fought people who are bronze, people who are flat, literally people of all ranks and different play styles and all kinds of stuff. And I feel like I had a lot of takeaways when I trained with Dominion, because he said it himself. He's like, being the teacher is one thing, but it's how this receives the information and how you turn it around that makes it meaningful. So I wanted to be able to give that back to another person, like another lady in Street Fighter, and help them level up in a meaningful way.
No, that's awesome, and fucking highly commendable of you to do that. Like that's super cool.
So it's an ongoing thing, because again, I'm freestyling right now. It's very informal. Like, I want to be able to kind of work with someone one-on-one, but kind of at a very less intense version of Exo Academy. But I specifically wanted somebody to kind of take the tools that I give them and work on their own to get to their goal. So, like, that's why I was looking for people who are essentially ranks below me, because I know that I can get them close to, like, whatever goal they want. So if they're bronze, I want to help them get to silver. If they're silver, I want to help them get to gold. It's a very short-term goal, but it's something... It's like, everybody always thinks you got to get good at Street Fighter right away. Like, oh my god, I want to be diamond. Like, I need to do it right now. But you gotta get through the first part of that.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna take some lumps before you get there.
Yeah, and you know, top players or people in the FGC, like, sometimes I talk to, you know, some girls at Combo Queens about Street Fighter 5 and all this, and like they want to get into frame data and matchups and stuff, and I'm like, but what about footsies? Like, what about neutral? Like, what about the fundamentals of the game? Like, has anybody taught you that? And most of the time the answer is no. And that's the backbone of the game.
Right.
Playing neutral and understanding like what footsies are and how to like utilize those tools. Like, that's something that's like basic knowledge that I feel like not even that the most beginner player has access to these days. And I think we need to kind of go back to the roots.
Yeah, you're trying to season and eat the steak, but you never cook the fucking steak.
Right.
If you gotta do it, yeah. That's super awesome. Another thing that I want to bring up before I let you go is I've been staring at this like for a couple days now. P-Chan's giving away snacks, everyone.
Oh, I'm giving away snacks.
P-Chan's giving away snacks.
Okay.
Go to
So
her
I'm
Twitter.
giving away snacks. Go look at my Twitter. I haven't chosen all the snacks yet, but usually it's a combination like Pocky and Pepero and chocolate. And usually I let the winner choose which one they get. I haven't created this package yet. I will probably post it, like as the gung-ho final thing on Friday. I'll post whatever snacks I'm going to be. And I'm also giving away a plushie. It is a very rainbow-colored alpaca. So, woo!
Oh my gosh. Well, look, I'm all in for the rainbow alpaca.
Yes.
But yeah, so P-Chan's giving away snacks. P-Chan is giving away fighting game lessons for women of the FGC. Please hit her up. All right, P-Chan, is there anything else on your mind you want to get out before we get out of here today?
No, I think that's it. This was an amazing time.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being on the show. I super, super appreciate it. You've been an awesome guest. You've been a lot of fun. I got to hit up your dad for recipes and cooking. We're going to swap recipes one day. Please, everyone, follow P-Chan on Twitter at P_ChanFGC. Follow her on Twitch at P_Chan, CHANNN. Follow her. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Walmart.com, HomeDepot.com, at SrirachaFlash. Oh, wait, hold on. This is a breaking message coming in from Twitch chat that decided to wait until the last second as I was closing out the show.
Beep, beep,
Beep, beep, beep. Yango coming in right before we close the show. Look, Yango, no one's going to hear this part because everyone's already fucking closed the podcast because you decided to wait till the last second. He wants to know, are you reading Demon Slayer?
Yes, I already read it all the way through. I am up to date. I am a very big manga. Watch that much anime. I prefer to read. I read all the Demon Slayer manga up to date, and then I decided to watch the anime as a week.
Perfect. There you go.
There's your answer.
There you go. Yango is super excited about it. Yes, she's read the fuck out of Demon Slayer. There it is. There's the answer. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to the show. This has been Some Random. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye, guys.